Totally awesome. Wow, look at that. That is, you know, I love trains. If you watch this channel enough, I love trains. I love train stations. That is terrific. Hello everyone, it's Chris. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, this is traditionally a Can-Am Spyder channel, but with today's video, we're taking a different twist. We're about to enter Niagara Falls State Park, as you can see there. We're going to cross over the bridge that takes us over the Niagara River as it pours towards Niagara Falls, the Upper Rapids. When a friend first recommended that I consider buying a Can-Am Spyder, at that time, I was considering, as a minimalist, I was considering selling my car and just using my two-wheel motorcycle, my my KTM 890 Adventure, as my only vehicle. And then I'd use Uber and rent cars when I needed to in bad weather. You know, I live in Western New York, Niagara Falls, where we get snow, as you can see. But when my friend recommended that I consider the Can-Am Spyder, I was intrigued because I would be able to ride on many more days with the Spyder than I could with a two-wheel motorcycle. That view just never gets old. But when I got serious about considering a Spyder, I wanted to look at my other options. And there aren't a lot of options when it comes to trikes. So I love Hondas, and I love, you know, their engineering, bulletproof engines, super reliability. And I knew that Goldwing had a trike. The Honda Goldwing had a tricycle version. But as I did more research into that, maybe Honda at one point did produce a trike, but at this point they don't. And if you want a Honda Goldwing trike, you're going to buy a custom build. And I actually looked at that. There's an outfit in DFW where, you know, it's a Honda dealer that customizes the Goldwing into a trike format. And I actually considered that. So we're now on Goat Island, which is part of the Niagara Falls State Park system. We're on the New York side of the Niagara River right now, but those tall buildings there, that's in Niagara Falls, Canada. So I did not really want to get a custom built thing. I wanted something from the factory, and I didn't want to take a risk on buying something that was custom built. The other option was Harley-Davidson that makes trikes. And I've got some friends that have Harley-Davidson trikes, but I don't want to offend anybody, but I'm just not a trike. I'm just not a Harley guy, and have never been a Harley guy. You know, I grew up, you know, liking dirt bikes, dual sport bikes, adventure bikes, sport touring bikes, and those are the bikes that I've had, but I was never a Harley guy. I didn't like the chrome, didn't like the loud sound. It just never appealed to me. You can see we've got some snow here. So the falls are right there. You can see the mist. That's mist coming up from the falls. So because I wasn't really a Harley guy, I kept coming back to the Spyder. So I started doing a lot of research on the Can-Am Spyder and Can-Ams in general and BRP. Was never really a BRP guy, was never a Ski Doo snowmobile guy. I had snowmobiles years ago, but I never had a Ski Doo. Had a Yamaha. But as I did more and more research, I really became intrigued with the Can-Am Spyder. Research on Google, research on YouTube. Read everything I could, and read somewhere about the Spyder's unique Y chassis. That is, two wheels in the front, one wheel in the back. The two wheels in the front steer. The rear wheel is the rear wheel that drives the thing, which is very much like a snowmobile. And that kind of makes sense because BRP, that makes the Can-Am Spyder, also makes the Ski Doo snowmobile. And they've been making them for, what, 50, 60 years? I don't know. I'm going to just pull over here for a minute. So when it came time to, you know, when I got closer to making a decision, I was really intrigued by the Y chassis with the two wheels up front that steer and the rear wheel. Look how dirty this thing is. This is what happens when you use this as your only vehicle and you ride it even in winter conditions that you shouldn't. But one of the things I'll point out is this little symbol here. I remember reading somewhere that that symbol is the Y chassis symbol. It's basically a Y, and if you look at where they spell out Spyder, now I'll be a son of a gun. I've had this thing for what, 10 months now, 13,000 miles, and I am just noticing now for this video today that I don't think you can't see it very well, but it says Can-Am here underneath all that dirt and muck and whatnot. Oh, okay, it does. I was going to say, is it possible this thing doesn't say Spyder? And it does. It says Spyder, and you can see the Y right there. And that Y is what makes all the difference. So, the lineage of this thing, this is a descendant of the Ski Doo snowmobile. So, we're in Niagara Falls, New York, in Western New York right now. And about 4 hours to our east-northeast is a town called Old Forge, and it's a year-round resort. We've been to Old Forge if you watch my videos on the Spyder. We've been there in the summer, we've been there in the fall. I thought, you know what, for this video I probably ought to take you to Old Forge, jump on a Ski Doo snowmobile, and show you the comparisons. Now, I'm not going to ride the Spyder in sub-freezing temperatures 4 hours on the interstate. I'm not going to do that. So what we're going to do is rent a car, but let's go to Old Forge. We are in Old Forge, New York. This is a town that is made for snowmobiling. They get a lot of Lake Ontario lake effect snow, whereas in Western New York, where I live, just south of where I live in Niagara Falls, most of it is Lake Erie lake effect snow. Wow, these moguls are something. But the restaurants, the hotels, everybody caters to the snowmobilers in the wintertime. Now, this is a four-season resort. We've been here on the Spyder, but we've been here in the summer, we've been here in the fall. I thought, you know what? We've got to get on a Ski Doo. Look at these moguls. Whoop-de-doos. And this Ski Doo is handling them just unbelievably. I wouldn't do this on a Spyder, but it's handling them in many cases for the same reason the Spyder is so stable. This wide ski stance is just very confidence-inspiring, just as the wide wheel stance on the Spyder. Okay, now this is the first time I'm snowmobiling here. I don't really know where I'm going, but I want to get to a trail, a groomed trail, that I believe is just up ahead here. So it's right here. So I came on the perfect day. I mean, this is a weekday that I'm here, so the traffic is going to be lighter than if it was a weekend. And they got hammered with snow. Okay, let's see. We want to go this way. And last night, I think they got another, based on the parking lot at the hotel, I'm guessing 6 inches of fresh powder. So this is just like too good to be true. If you don't know much about snowmobiling, so these trails are groomed trails. They have a groomer just like at a ski resort that drives over these, I guess like on a snowcat type device. Drives over these trails, and it drags like a, I don't know what it is, but something that grooms the trails. It's narrow bridge ahead. Okay, which way are we going? Trail 7A or 7? I don't know. We'll just go this way. I'm going to pull over up ahead and do a walk around. For those of you unfamiliar with the modern snowmobile, it's been a couple of weeks since I rode with a friend. He's got 2 Arctic Cats that are 2003s. So those were 20-year-old sleds that we went out on. And before that, the last time I was snowmobiling was on 80s vintage sleds. 1982 Yamaha SRV. So I've never really been on a modern snowmobile, which this is. I think this is a 2003 model. The other thing is, when I snowmobiled initially, you know, 40 years ago, most sleds were 440, the smaller ones were 340s. The 440s were like the top of the line, the king of the hill when it came to power. And then they came out with the 500 cc's, the 540s and whatnot. Well, this sled is a 600 cc sled, and this is a small snowmobile in terms of engine. They're like 800 cc snowmobiles now, and I can't even imagine what that's like. I want to find kind of a straightaway where I can pull over. I don't want to pull over where it's curvy like this and get hit by another sledder. But I want to show you the configuration of the wide chassis that the snowmobiles have. And you know what? This is the perfect place to do it. I'm going to pull over right here. Intersection ahead. That should be interesting. Okay. So the wide chassis on the Spyder, we have two wheels in front, one drive wheel in the back. The two wheels in front steer. On the Ski Doo, the two skis steer, and the drive wheel is replaced with a track. And the new snowmobiles have super long tracks. You can see the ski stance. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. You can see the ski stance is super duper wide, just like the Can-Am. The Can-Am Spyder has a wide wheel stance, and that gives these babies so much incredible inherent stability, both the Spyder and the Ski Doo. All right, let's see what this intersection's all about. To Trail 6. I have a balaclava in my pocket. It would certainly make the ride more comfortable, but it garbles up the video in a way that I just don't like it. And quite frankly, I'm okay. That sun is certainly helping. Trails merge, intersection ahead. These trails are very well 77 loop. Oh my gosh, that's not been ridden on. That looks awesome. My fear is I'm riding alone, and you can see there's already snowmobilers out and about, but I don't want to be in the middle of the Adirondack forest and have a problem, a mechanical issue, a personal issue, a medical issue, or whatever, and be, you know, certainly in an area with no cell reception and get jammed up. So I'm going to try to stick to the, you know how they say take the road less traveled? Well, I'm not going to be doing much of that today. If I was with a couple of other guys, maybe. But on that note, there are a couple of YouTube videos that I find really interesting about the benefits of riding alone. You know, as an introvert, as a guy who likes to kind of do his own thing, I do not mind riding alone at all, whether it's a snowmobile like this or a Can-Am Spyder or a two-wheel motorcycle. Can do my own thing. The only thing that would make this cooler, I shouldn't say cooler, but more scenic, is if these deciduous trees were evergreens, right? We'd be going through kind of like an enchanted forest. Of course, then it would be much darker, and I'm not sure how the GoPro would handle that. I've got an ND filter on that, and I'm glad I do, because of the sun combined with the snow would make this video just wash out. Now, I got up this morning and it was snowing, and it was dark as the sun came up because it was snowing. I went to breakfast at about 8 o'clock, and the sun was not out, it was not coming out, it was just cloudy with light snow. And I'm glad at that, because I've got fresh snow. Oh, this is cool. But I mention that because this sunshine is just really... I wonder if this is an active rail line. It has to be. Not recently active, though. So if I didn't have an ND filter on, if I left this morning and thought, you know what, it's cloudy, it's overcast, it's snowy, you don't need the ND filter, this video would definitely get washed out because of the bright sun combined with the white snow. Okay, which way are we going? We don't know. We'll go this way. Whoa. Just because, as with the Spyder, just because it's got this wide ski stance does not mean you can't get yourself jammed up. You still have to be careful on these. So as you can see, the Spyder, being a direct descendant of the Snowmobile, the Ski Doo Snowmobile in particular, is what, in my opinion, separates it from the traditional trikes. And, you know, Ski Doo's been engineering snowmobiles for, what, 50 plus years. So, they know what they're doing. Okay, where are we going here? I believe there's a 50-mile-per-hour speed limit on these trails, but I just wanted to punch it a little bit. For those of you who've never been on a sled, I hope you enjoyed the ride. Now those are icicles, right? Would not want to get poked by one of those. So when I say the town is made for snowmobilers, you can see what I mean. There's snowmobilers everywhere, crossing the road like it's nothing. We'll give you a little covered bridge shot here. Awesome. This is the visitor center for the town. So they have snowmobile trail maps and whatnot. So I hope you enjoyed that little adventure to Old Forge and that little ride on the Ski Doo snowmobile. Now, after I bought the Spyder, and after I started the YouTube channel, one of my videos brought a comment from someone, and I forgot the guy's name, but someone commented, and it turns out he was with an outfit called Endeavor Trikes, which was like his company, and he made custom trikes. So I went to his website, I followed him on YouTube, and I just loved, oh, bald eagle, oh my gosh, do you see that? Wow, that's awesome. Wow. Okay, this is not a wildlife channel, but that is unbelievable. I've never seen one here. Really? Yeah, is that common?
Becoming common, yeah.
Awesome. Wow. Have a good day. So anyway, I went to the website for Endeavor Trikes, and I learned a lot from his website. Even though he made custom trikes, well, you know what? Let's just go to his website. Inserting this into this video about, you know, the Can-Am Spyder type reverse trike. Unfortunately, you'll see here, official notice as of September 15th, 2024, I have decided to retire and terminate all sport trike builds. Apparently what this guy would do is he would take any two-wheel motorcycle and convert it, modify it into a reverse trike, like you can see here. But the reason why I bring this, and by the way, this guy has a YouTube channel, and I'll bring you to that in a moment, but
The reason why I'm bringing this up is there's a really cool page on this website. And by the way, this website is still active in the first quarter of 2025 when I'm shooting this video. I don't know if it will eventually expire out or if he'll keep this website active. But on the website, there's a page called Why Reverse. And we'll just visit it very quickly. He gives a really well-informed explanation of the superiority of the reverse trike compared to the standard traditional trike, compared to the leaning trikes. He goes into the engineering and the mechanics of it and the whys and whatnot, well beyond any level of my understanding. There's also a page called Frequently Asked Questions you can see here. And when you click on that page, there's common questions. These questions and answers are really targeting the custom build that he would do, but a lot of the information here also applies to the Can-Am Spyder and the Can-Am Ryker as well. I mention all of this. I'm going to just take you to his YouTube page now. Here's his YouTube page. It's the Rule of Three, and anybody who is interested in a Spyder or even a Ryker, or perhaps you already own a Spyder or a Ryker, I think you'd be fascinated by going to his website and checking it out and subscribing to his channel as well.
So you can see he brings a real engineering perspective to the idea that the reverse trike is the way to go if you're going to have a trike. No offense to those that ride Harley or custom Goldwing traditional trikes, but based on my research, I'm just really glad that I've got the Spyder. So whether you're in the market for a Spyder or a Ryker or any reverse trike, I hope, you know, that his engineer's perspective helped you. And in terms of the lineage and the fact that the Spyder is a direct descendant of Ski Doo snowmobiles, you know, I hope you found that portion of the video helpful as well. If you're not a subscriber to the channel, I sure would appreciate it if you would subscribe. The channel's growing just well beyond what I ever thought it would. If there's anything about this video, okay, now we're about to head over the bridge again into the city of Niagara Falls from Niagara Falls State Park over the Niagara River in the Upper Rapids. If you'd hit like on this video, I sure would appreciate it. If you have any comments on the Ski Doo snowmobile connection, on that Endeavor trikes, oh my gosh, you can see a couple of the ice booms there. Those things, I don't know if you can see them from the GoPro, but those are part of the, you know, ice boom that they put up. You know what, no one's behind me. I'm going to do something completely crazy. So those cylindrical things you see, there's two of them in the river. This occasionally happens. I haven't seen one in a while. Maybe I just haven't been looking. But those two things are part of the ice boom that they put at the beginning of the Niagara River in Buffalo, where Lake Erie pours into the Niagara River, to prevent ice jams and whatnot. They put it up there just in the winter. And occasionally one will break off, and there's a couple of them. But anyway, if there's anything about this video that you want to comment on, please comment. And until the next video, you have a great day. Bye-bye.